What is it that you're afraid of? Let's talk about fear. A lot of people live their lives predicated on fear, where fear dictates everything that they're doing. Whether it's fear within yourself, your own self-doubts, your own insecurities, that sort of thing, or a fear. I'm not talking about like the normal fear, like the phobias and stuff that you would normally talk of, like a scared of spiders, scared of snakes and everything like that. I'm talking about like more in the real world spectrum of the fear of succeeding, the fear of where you're going, where you're going to be in the future, that sort of thing. A lot of that comes down to the insecurities that people have in their mind. Whatever insecurities you put upon yourself is usually what's going to funnel that fear. Are you letting fear in, or are you just embracing it, saying, hey, this is what it is, and this is what I need to do about it, right? Write that shit down, right? Write down what you're afraid of, right? Even if it is, start with the small things. You're afraid of spiders, you're afraid of heights, you're afraid of those things. Small on the level of the bigger world problems. Like, what is it that is stopping you from doing what you're doing, right? Somebody is usually in your ear or casting judgment on you. What can you do to stop that? What can you do to curb that? How you deal with fear comes down to punching it directly in the face and dealing with it head on. You may not like how you're feeling, you may not like how you're going about it, but there's something to be said about allowing what dictates your life and whether or not you're in control of it. It's usually a primary aspect that takes control of your life, leaving you feel hopeless, leading a lot of people to, at worst, commit suicide. It's better to embrace feeling scared about something. Like, for example, me filming this video, right? Me starting a YouTube channel. I've had a lot of struggle with that. I've had a lot of fear going into that. Not the fear of judgment of from others or what they think of my content, or unless it's, of course, I take it as I go and I see how I'm doing with it, of course. Not the fear of judgment from others, like looking at my stuff. If they don't like it, that's totally fine. This is something that I start because I want to grow on it. It's more of a fear of the self-doubt. I fear all the time that I'm not good enough to do this, right? I have my own voice in my head, right? Some people have a lot of the other voices that they have a hard time funneling out, additional people coming in saying things like they know what's best. But even for me, the fear that I allow come in is usually coming from a place of self-doubt, saying I can't do this and I can't do that. And the best way is to just start. Whatever it is that you're passionate about, whatever it is that you're going for, write that shit down. Like, write down what it is that you're fearing, and then zone in on it. Zone in on all the areas of your life that it is affecting, and find a way to make peace with that, right? Just make peace with that fear, right? Once you just dive right into whatever the hell it is that you want to do, you're just going to power through it. You'll power through it. You're not going to look back. And in a few years, you'll be looking at it laughing, saying, oh my God, I can't believe that I felt that way. And this is the way that I hope that I'm going to feel, when I keep posting videos. I have a hard time with speaking directly to a camera. I don't have a hard time talking. I talk all the time freely with friends, with my girlfriend, with my family, anything like that. I can just spout off and talk and all that stuff. But I usually get something that's called red light fever, right? I used to have that when I was recording on guitar in the studio. And I even have it times like now. And it's just better to be open and honest about the fear rather than have it take over you. A lot of the time, it comes down to two things. You're either afraid of the perception you have of yourself, or you're afraid of the perception that other people have. And usually when people have a mix of both of those, that's what tends to lead to all of the negative things that come crashing down in their life, right? Puts them in a negative thought loop, gives them all these reasons why they shouldn't do it, right? But the only failure is in not doing whatever it is that you want to do. Take control over what you have, right? There are controllables and there are uncontrollables. Ask yourself, if I can't control the scenario, then is it worth worrying about? If I can control the scenario, how do I pinpoint on how to make it better? How do I improve this? How do I go from point A to point C? How do I conquer that point B so I can get over that? Well, it comes down to embracing it as it is, learning how to overcome that sensation, that added emotion that just like drags you down into the mud. Like, it's not worth it. It's just so not worth it. I just sit here talking all about all this stuff, but at the end of the day, I want to know what it is that's bringing you down, that's keeping you where you're at, Like, I'm not having the best of days. I'm not having the worst day ever. But, you know, I'm struggling to get through this video, for example. But I have a lot of things that I want to say. It's just hard to articulate it in front of the camera. And that's, I guess, the frustrating part. But with that fear, I think it's important to be vulnerable, right? Keep yourself vulnerable. The more vulnerable you are, the more open you are, the less you're going to be afraid of in the future, right? Just keep the doors wide open. Allow yourself to be attacked. Allow yourself to be public with and broadened with everything that's going to happen, with everything that comes your way. Keep a level head about it. Don't fret the small things. And I think you'll be fine. I'm going to have a part 2 to this where I actually dive in a lot deeper when I'm a little bit more clear in mind. So I apologize that this isn't the greatest video, but hope you stay real and I'll stay caveman.